Hello everyone, don't mind my attire. I was just out for a walk/run/hike in a rainy day, as well as you might be able to see behind me, and I had a very clear message come to me that I want to relate to you, especially even for myself. It's a good reminder for myself to be very cautious around predictions and forecasts, especially astrological. And I know I give predictions on my channel mostly, and I hope for the guidance to work with the changing of energies, work with the changing of times, work with the potentials of some of the either challenges, pitfalls, or opportunities that might be showing up for us. But knowing that no matter what happens in astrology, no matter what predictions, tarot readings, forecasts are out there that are given to you, you are the master of your destiny. Now, I know there is some part of our experience that we are meant to experience. I know that planets can influence our experience is in some degree, mostly energetically, but not completely. And if we are not in alignment within ourselves, if we haven't worked through our fears, if we are feeling in doubt or low worth or low confidence, and say a Jupiter goes into a new sign and we have this opportunity ahead of us, if we're not lined up for that opportunity internally, then we're not going to fully be available to receive it. And if we're not feeling open to receive, if we're not in trust, if we're not in surrender, etc., then we're not going to fully align with the opportunity that potential transit or planet is going to give us, or even a prediction, say for example in tarot or a psychic reading. They can predict certain energies that are available out there, but if we aren't doing the work to prepare ourselves, to align ourselves, to get ready to observe, to feel, to sense, to connect with the potential, and also I should say to create it, because we do have to show up and do the work. Literally, we do have to put our effort into what we want to see change in our lives. If we're not doing that, then change is not just going to land on our lap. I do feel, and I've mentioned this before, that change can come to us. Of course it can. And situations, opportunities can land in our lap, so to speak. And that is definitely possible. But if we are, say, for example, in our unconscious fears, or if we are if we haven't done our inner work, if we haven't shown up for ourselves and a situation does show up, an opportunity, then we may not be able to sustain it. We may not be able to be grateful for it. We may not even be able to see it for what it is. And we may not be able to fully take that opportunity and evolve it into something amazing. So if we're not doing our inner work, if we're not investing in ourselves, if we're not showing up for ourselves, if we're not exploring our depths and our shadow and connecting with our body and our spiritual self and our mental self and all of these aspects within ourselves, then we're going to miss an opportunity potentially that these planets can offer us. The tarot readings can predict for us. And sometimes too, these predictions are not for everyone. I've watched many predictions, many astrological predictions for my sun sign, for example, and what has been predicted hadn't happened and hadn't shown up, which is fine. And I don't put my weight on it. I don't expect it to happen. I'm not waiting for it to happen. And that's another point. Do not wait for anything to happen. Do not wait for any of these predictions to happen, because they are predictions, and they are also, especially on social media, they're general. So they're going to resonate differently with everyone. We're all on different paths. We all have different experiences. And the more tuned in that we are with ourselves, the more aligned, the more sensitive, the more ready that we are, then yes, we will grab that opportunity. We will be in alignment for that opportunity. We will create the change, and we will have that extra support from the universe and from the energy, if you will, to create it and to align with it. So for example, this next transit of Jupiter moving into Gemini, that's a wonderful opportunity for many of us, I'm sure. But if we're not aligned with it, if we're not aware of the opportunity, if we're not working on ourselves, then we may miss the opportunity, or we may find ourselves repeating patterns of the past, right? And we are here to break patterns. We are here to do the deep work. And so if we're not doing this, if we're not paying attention, and I know it may seem like work but it really actually isn't work when you get into it. It's fun and it's interesting. And yes, okay, sometimes it can be a pain and sometimes it can be frustrating. I get that. But when we really dive into this, it is quite an interesting opportunity for us to explore, especially when we see the change and especially when we have those breakthrough moments. It is so worth it, because then you are aligning and you do get to align with the potentials that is presented for you. That is starting to align astrologically or energetically, etc. But most importantly, you are the master of your domain. You are the master of your destiny. You are the master of the here and now in the present moment. You are the master of your body. You are the master of your mind. You are the master of your emotions, your heart, your senses. You are the master of your essence, your soul being, your energetic self. And yes, of course, there is determinism involved in this. There is going to be an aspect of a path that we have to go down, where opportunities will show up for us that are meant to show up for us. Challenges and pitfalls that we are meant to experience will show up, but a lot of it too we can change. A lot of it too we can adjust to, we can adapt, we can open up to. And especially, yes, this inner work is the biggest opportunity that we have now to access and to go within, so that we can align with these amazing predictions and align with these amazing forecasts and use that to our potential. So the astrological forecasts, tarot readings, predictions, psychic readings are only good and only, well, they probably will resonate to a point, but they're really not going to make change happen for us. We make change happen for us, right? So it's so important to remember that. And of course, it's just fun to watch. It's fun to watch. It's fun to keep an eye on and engage with. I watch some forecasts as well. You know, why not? It's fun. But at the end of the day, I am still here. I am still here doing my work and connecting with who I am and the change that I can make for myself through understanding myself more and through tuning in more and through also just finding peace in the present moment and accepting what is meant to come as what is meant to show up for me. And some of it is going to be very unpredictable. Some of it is going to be based on hard work and hard effort. And I've even talked about many psychic readings and predictions that I've had personally. Forget about the online space where it's been general, but even personally, personal readings, psychic predictions, where none of them have come true. And it really threw me off of my inner work and showing up for myself to make the change within myself, for my future. And all the predictions that I had completely derailed me from an opportunity of tuning in and creating change within my life. We can't sit back and wait for things to happen. We can't sit back and watch YouTube and predictions and go to psychic readings and have all these people tell us things that sound good or are opportunities for us in the future. And yet, meanwhile, we're still living in the same way, or we're not helping ourselves align with the potentials that are available for us, because everything changes. Energy is very fluid. And a lot of these predictions, psychic predictions, tarot predictions, are tapping into specific energies at that exact moment in time. But energy is constantly shifting. Things are constantly shifting. And if other people are involved in our story, they have their own story playing out as well. That can change and shift at any time. People can jump off their timelines. People can decide all of a sudden that they don't want to make that change if it is a relationship I'm speaking to, or a family member, or etc., right? So there are so many different dimensions and levels to our own experience. That's why it's so important to be aware of our own experience and being tuned in. And therefore, when we are really tuned in and dialed in and connected with our senses and paying attention to the present moment, we actually can predict our own future. We can get a sense of what we need to do in order to align us with something that's available for us in our future. Or even understand energetically what's happening within the universe, so that we can maybe heal, so that we can maybe adjust, or maybe any challenges that are coming our way, so we can prepare for it and learn how to work through it in the most constructive way possible. All right, so that's a quick message. I'm wishing you all the best. Enjoy those predictions. And like I said, it's fun. There's nothing wrong with them. I talk about predictions and forecasts here as well, but mostly in the context for us to understand how to work with it, or how we can open ourselves up for the opportunity and the potential, and also tune in with maybe some of the more difficult and challenging times so we can heal and transform and purge and let go, etc. All right, so I am wishing you all the best on your path forward. Enjoy the ride, and I'll be seeing you again very soon. Take care.